with the beautiful sunset here in New Rochelle. We are back at it once again here. Hello, everyone. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Gaels SportsCenter on the WICR radio. I am Matthew George, and welcome back, everyone. Hope classes and everything else in club related stuff is going well, and we have a lot of stuff that we're going to be talking about today from the Gale Sports all the way to what's been going on in the MLB and the NFL as well, nor NBA, unfortunately, because the season hasn't even started yet. But we're going to get back into the swing of things once the NBA season starts. So going right into on the Gale Sports on campus and what's been happening around the Gale Nation area. What a game for the men's soccer team as they faced Sacred Heart, beating them today 2-1. Lenworth Lopez and Mauro Bravo coming up with two huge goals. Their record will now be set even at 2-2 after they getting their last win here in New Rochelle. With a 3-0 victory. So they're gonna keep the ball. They're gonna keep that ball going up and running as they continue their season to secure a championship and to try to secure a MAC championship this season. Moving right along, we're going into the women's soccer team who actually just played today, moments ago, up here in Mozilla Field. Faith Preziosi coming up huge in the second half, coming up with two goals in just a span of 20 minutes. And she, after Gales being down 2-0, being down 2-0, and after 48 minutes, the 58 minutes she scored, Faith Preziosi scored a goal from 15 yards out, and then Amber Crispin, the senior from Kearney, New Jersey, added in to secure the lead in the 83rd minute and secured the victory for the Gales. They now are 3-6-1 in the season, so they will now continue to look forward to having some better ups and downs, as you would say, for the team as well. So a lot of Gale sports action as we continue moving forward. More sports to be coming up. There's going to be a lot more when we come up to the basketball season as well. There's going to be new lineup changes, and new players we're going to be seeing as well. A notable one, obviously, as most of us should know by now, is the move that Isaiah Washington is now once again back in the Gale, once again back here in his hometown in New York, and going to be playing for the Gales. Hopefully they will clear something out because he's trying to still get his confirmation to try to play this season. He's going to be one of, if anybody knows, AKA Jellyfam, was one of the top prospects coming out of high school. Played point guard for in the University of Minnesota, but didn't seem to work anything out in his first two seasons there. Really diminished in his points per game, especially in the sophomore season. So he's looking to rejuvenate his career here in the Gale Nation to see if he could even take over the MAC. I mean, if I was him, I would probably really just do as much as I can, keep working hard, and actually take over the MAC, because he definitely has some star caliber play in his mentality and his game work. So there's going to be a lot more of that, and then we got some incoming freshmen as well coming up into the college league. So there's going to be a lot of changes for the men's team this season. Now actually losing Ricky McGill, the four-time MAC champion, who the first was one of the few college athletes to win 4 straight conference championships in their college career, which is mind blowing to me. And I've talked to him a lot about what he was accomplished and what he's put a lot into each year. So being able to not as a guitarist for the pep band, being able to travel with him and to see the games up close, it shows that he put a lot of effort and put a lot of work ethic into what he did for this past 4 years. Obviously, Obviously, in his freshman season, it wasn't the best out of the four, and obviously having one of the best careers I've ever seen from a college athlete in terms of basketball, especially from a school like ours, to take the team and lead it to another MAC championship four times in a row is mind blowing, and he definitely left a mark for the Gale Nation, and a lot of people are asking now, will Isaiah Washington live up to his standards? Will he be like the same person? Will he like even better? Excuse me, even better than what Ricky McGill has done for this organization. But it's gonna be. I don't know about that because obviously he just transferred here, so he has to get to the fit of getting used to this kind of play. Obviously, Coach Klose is a lot more different than the coach in Minnesota, but because he likes to stretch because from my experience and from what I've seen, Coach Kluse likes to run like a spread out 5 out type of game, shooting a lot of threes, especially when during my sophomore year, we shot a lot of threes coming up into the MAC tournament. We were, I think, either third or one of the top teams in 3-point percentage and 3 pointers attempted. So I think that definitely pulls into a factor. So if Jellyfam shooting and work ethic, and especially in his finishing game, can definitely up to that caliber of a college athlete, then hey, I think we'll all go for it, and who knows, and that the Gale Nation could secure another championship this upcoming season. But looking forward to that. Obviously, there's a lot more. There's a lot more with that. And for the other side, we have the women's team picking up some new recruits coming up for this season. We got a new point guard. We got a new point guard as well. The team secured a 6'2" center as well. So I think this is going to be a turnaround after having a somewhat of a lackluster kind of a season for them because they had to build up team chemistry, a lot of that, and then also they had to play through a style that they're not really used to. Obviously, the one person who really stands out and could have a breakout season coming up. It will be Wanaka Milion, the freshman now a sophomore. This season has really been putting up a lot of numbers, especially during the playoffs. Um, Especially during the MAC tournament last season. Definitely coming up big with her range and also her finishing ability around the rim as well. So she's definitely definitely important point guard at heart. The only thing I would say about her is that she probably had to limit her turnovers. That was one of the main focal points of around drop sides of her freshman season. But other than that, she had a really good first year. Other than that, I would like to see that Cheyenne Moy picking up her game. Obviously, as some of us know, that she had a uh, injury in December. Had a knee injury during that time, and she had to miss about a month of play before she could actually get back into the lineup. She got back, and once the MAC tournament hit, she definitely got into her stride. Her shooting was really well. She started finishing a lot of her layups and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a very interesting season for the basketball season for the Gales. Best of luck to them this season. All right, we're going to move right along to the MLB, specifically the New York Yankees picking up a tremendous win over the Los Angeles Angels of shutting them out 8-0. DJ LeMahieu, Didi Gregorius, and Kleber Torres, Urshela, and even picking up two hits. Kleber Torres, the bombsheller coming off this 38th home run of the season in the fourth inning. The All Star is just definitely making a lot of plays, especially coming up in the season. And then the pickups for DJ LeMahieu. My goodness, like I couldn't like if you would have told me that the Yankees were like going to be subpar to what they did last season to make the playoffs. Now they're actually in the top seed in the division right now, and actually excelling as of right now. So they're definitely making a push uh, to make to make it to the playoffs this season, and they got their all-star pitcher in Luis Severino, picking up four strikeouts and only two hits and 4 innings pitched in his first game of play. Obviously they were only the Yankees only wanted him to Aaron Boone only wanted him to pitch around 70 pitches, and he pitched 67 with 47 strikes. So hey, that's a great way to come back. That's a great way to come back to this season, come back into the game after just having a straight amount of injuries coming prior to this season. As we look taking a look at the Yankees' upcoming schedule, they will have, and they're facing the Angels again right now. CC Sabathia will take them out. Is taking them out as of right now. They will finish their last game against the Angels at home with J.A. Happ taking the start tomorrow. They will still have a 3-game series here in the Bronx uh, for against Toronto, and then go to Tampa for a 2-game series where CC Sabathia in that first game of the 2-game series will have his final game as a New York Yankee. As obviously we know that he has announced his retirement, and then the Yankees will wrap it up in Texas for this upcoming weekend. Yankees are sitting in the first. Yankees are sitting in the first place seed with 99 wins and 53 losses. Coming up in that big win again, coming up in that win against counting that win against the Angels yesterday. And hopefully they'll be funny how it's the race to win first to the century mark. It's going to be either the Houston Astros or the Yankees who's going to reach that century mark. Hopefully it's going to be Yankees because I'm obviously a Yankee fan. But as we look at the wild card, we're going to see that the Oakland A's have been the star getter at that the top seed in the wild card, right behind the Tampa Bay Rays. So it looks like it's going to be either one of those two. Tampa and Cleveland are really battling it out. Just a half a game between each other. The Cleveland obviously being the downside of the down team in the bottom, behind Tampa, and just a half a game behind them. So it's going to be a race for that second place spot to try to make it to the wild card, because obviously, as we know, the wild card game is obviously one of the most watched and entertaining games of the MLB season, aside from the World Series, because they're battling it out to try to make it to the playoffs, to get that other top place in the playoffs. If we look at the National League, there's a two-way tie between the Bucks, that's an NBA team, between the Brewers and the Cubs, sitting at 82 wins and 69 losses, same record. So they are battling it out to try to win, to try to take that they try to take that spot, to try to face the Washington Nationals, who's taking that top seed in the wild card race in the National League right now. New York Mets are also trying to get into the mix, but they are 3.5 games out, with only about a few games remaining in the season so far. It's going to be obviously for the New York Yankees. They're having a great season so far, and trying to make it a push for the World Series this year. It's gonna be one of those years that hopefully everything works out. No injuries are gonna be happening, because obviously we know about the history for the Yankees in terms of their injuries and trying to make it the playoffs. It's just been a huge struggle. Some of the star players like Aaron Judge, uh, like especially Aaron Judge, having some injuries prior from last season. Giancarlo Stanton is still out from the season. So there's been a bit of bounce around from these past two seasons. So hopefully this will be the year for the Yankees to take their 28th World Championship. So only time will tell once postseason begins. Finally, we're gonna go right into the updated status of the NFL. The pick I'm going to go specifically on the Packers. Packers winning Packers winning their second game at home. The season opener again. The season opener against Minnesota. And Aaron Rodgers picking up two touchdowns on 209 yards. Green Bay picked up 21 points in just the first half. The defense did pick up a little bit. They did give up on like around a few three field goals. Final score being 21-16 for the Packers coming up big time. Their schedule seems to be pretty difficult coming up for the next 6 games or so. They'll be facing the Broncos just next this Sunday, and then there'll be 3 game and 2 games home. Broncos and the Eagles. The Eagles will be definitely a tough game. And then they go to Dallas to face the Cowboys. And then they'll wrap it up with a two game homestand of the Lions and Raiders. So and it's going to be an interesting season for the Packers. Now they have a new lineup, but with their veteran quarterback of Aaron Rodgers, still the vet, coming off another season. Hopefully, injuries won't be too much of a detriment for the veteran this coming up this season. All right, guys, this is another rendition of Gaels SportsCenter. Glad to be back right here in New Rochelle at Iona College. Tune in live Wednesdays from 7 to 8 p.m. As we continue moving forward in this semester. So have a good day, guys. Take care and have a good one.